Eko Atlantic City, developing tourism in Nigeria. The idea behind Eko Atlantic City started in 2003 when the Lagos state government was in search of a permanent solution to protect Bar Beach in Victoria Island, Lagos, from the effects of severe coastal erosion and to safeguard Victoria Island from the threat of flooding. This chronology began in 2003 and 2005 when South Energix Nigeria Limited, the developers and city planners of Eko Atlantic, engaged in a feasibility study with international experts to solve the problem of ocean surge once and for all. The Governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Raji Fashola, highlighted some of the reasons that gave birth to the new city from the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos.
What we're simply trying to do here is that first we become a mega city by status because of our population, and we've set ourselves the objective to become the model mega city for Africa, a city where people can live, work and play. Eko Atlantic City is so many things in one. Yes, it's a huge civil works project, but it also enables government to respond to the challenges of nature, erosion in the southwest and south-south coastal shoreline of Nigeria. It also provides the opportunity to forge the critical synergy between the public sector and private sector. The whole project, from the restoration, the reclamation, up to the reconstruction, will create jobs, create opportunities for so many other sectors of the economy.
The new 5 million square meter Eko Atlantic City is projected to be the first modern city in Africa built on reclaimed land from the Atlantic Ocean with a Great Wall. Recently in Lagos, former US President Bill Clinton, President Goodluck Jonathan, Governor Fashola, former Governor of Lagos State Bola Tinubu and many other top dignitaries attended the opening ceremony of the first phase of the Eko Atlantic City.
The road that was lost to the sea is back and is now motorable. The buildings that were deserted are now occupied. Property values have been restored and multiplied, and more buildings are springing up in anticipation of the opportunities that lie ahead. When all is done, a new city will emerge from what was once a devastated area as a result of nature's onslaught.
In the light of developing tourism in Nigeria, there are many of these attractions that are still largely untapped and even at their raw states. With the growing need to diversify the Nigerian economy, and as people, especially visitors, in quest of adventure and in search of new challenges and experiences, hence the necessity to create and develop tourism in the country. The lack of required modern infrastructure facilities and, in some parts of the country, the acute conditions of underdevelopment, all these are impediments to tourism. However, there are many tourism investment opportunities in Nigeria. Apparently, some administrations such as Lagos State, with the plan of transforming Lagos to a megacity, is exploring these potentials. A tourism policy was produced in 1990 with the basic objectives to make Nigeria the ultimate tourism destination in Africa. The main thrust of government policy on tourism is to generate foreign exchange, encourage even development, promote tourism-based rural enterprises, generate employment, and accelerate rural-urban integration and cultural exchange. To this regard, the following strategies were adopted. Concession of land. State governments are meant to provide land without any hindrance for tourism development at concessional rates and conditions favorable to investment and its realization, which include the abolition of annual ground rent within the period of construction and development of tourism. It is mandatory for all state governments to demarcate potential tourism zones and their products from other usage to avoid undue pollution. A 100% equity ownership of companies in Nigeria and repatriation of profits and dividends. With these provisions in place, tourism can strive in each state of the Federation. The Lekki Free Trade Zone is a typical example.
What the state government is trying to do is we realize that a lot of these free zones have helped to stimulate growth and create employment. And what Lekki Free Zone Development Company has been doing is basically to try and attract investors. But also, I have to emphasize that as the Honorable Commissioner for Industry, Mrs. Owuru emphasized that at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is make sure that most of this growth is inward. So in terms of manufacturers, those who produce things, we want to create jobs for the local community, for the state. So basically, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is create economic growth. You understand? Diversify the economy. That is the idea of the free zone.
I come to Nigeria for the first time. Yeah, and I mean, I want to introduce my product here, but I think Nigerian people, love my product. Yeah.
There are other popular tourist attractions in Nigeria that are still existing though, but seem to have somewhat gone into oblivion. To mention but a few is the Yankari Game Reserve. The Yankari National Park is the premier game reserve in Nigeria. Yankari Park was set up in 1956 and opened to the public in 1962, located around the Gagi River southeast of Bauchi town. The beauty and size of the Yankari Game Reserve make it the most popular reserve in Nigeria. The Kainji National Park. This park is in Kwara State, southwest Nigeria. It was established in 1979 and incorporates the Borgu Game Reserve and Zuguma Game Reserve. The Kainji National Park also contains the Kainji Dam, an artificial lake which covers the town of Old Busa. The Coconut Beach. The Coconut Beach is a beautiful beach in the coastal town of Badagry, west of Lagos. The beach is attractively set in an area surrounded by coconut trees, about 20 miles towards the border of Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. Bar Beach. Bar Beach is the most popular beach among Nigerians. The main beach on Victoria Island is located along Amadu Bello Way opposite the Federal Guest House. It is usually crowded with Lagosians on public holidays. The Obudu Cattle Ranch. The Obudu Ranch is a popular holiday destination for adventurous tourists, situated in the northeast of Cross River State, Nigeria, only 45 miles from the Cameroon border. A tourist can enjoy the countryside of both Nigeria and Cameroon at the same time. The Obudu Plateau is spread over an area of 40 square miles. It is 5,200 feet above sea level. The Obudu Ranch is one of the most recent tourist attraction sites developed in Nigeria, a multi-million-dollar project that has presumably failed to meet up with its billing. Observers and analysts have said some of the major challenges of these locations are lack of maintenance and proper funding for sustenance. The Eco-Atlantic City project is a huge technological feat for the Lagos state government, and it is expected that as tourism is being developed in these new locations, other state governments with abandoned tourist attraction should treat this sector as ideal by introducing incentives such as tax holidays, tax rebates and soft loans with long period of grace to potential investors in tourism. These are some of the ways to boost the level of foreign and private sector investment in tourism.